everyone. I'm back again with another gear review. This is the Keith McMillen K-Board, smart keyboard. Got this again for Christmas, actually for my wife again, so thanks again for that one. It's been a really great year for music gear for me. What this is essentially is a little keyboard pad. It's the little brother to the Keith McMillen, I believe it's pronounced QuNexus, that communicates with CV and all that sort of stuff. This is the smaller version of that, just kind of, lower cost, cheaper, not as many features, but still pretty widely featured keyboard. It's $99. I know Guitar Center was running something for a while where it was like $70. But it's a pretty nice little thing. They've run ads. I think they're kind of billing this as a on-the-go, throw-in-your-bag kind of keyboard. I've seen ads from Keith McMillen online where they are showing it being run over by a dump truck, and they say that they've tested it spilling water on it. It still works. I haven't put it through that many paces, but I do just toss it into my satchel on my way to work, and I have been able to use it on lunch breaks and things like that to sort of make beats and make music. It is pretty nice. It's very slim. It's really does feel solid. It feels like, I guess it's plastic, but it feels kind of like a rubbery, like mold sort of thing. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It is thin, but it feels very sturdy. Just to give you an idea as to scale, this is my Kroger card, which is about the size of a business card. And if you can tell there, it's about the height of the board itself. It's about the width of a business card. So very slim profile. The keys themselves are like little drum pads, essentially. It doesn't feel, for people who are really into playing piano, which I am not, don't have great piano skills, I just kind of mess around, but for people who are really into playing piano, this might feel sort of foreign because they don't feel at all like piano keys. They feel really more like drum pads. But for me, I came from working with drum machines, and I use Machine a lot. So for me, I like it. For someone who's has a lot of technique with keyboards, it might feel very strange. It is pretty playable, though. So I don't think you'll really have a problem banging out melodies on this thing. I guess you would say, benefit or the idea behind this thing is you'll notice no knobs, no wheels, no real controls other than you've got your actual keys, and over here you've got a list of various other options: tilt, press, sustain, toggle, velocity, bend, and octave buttons. We'll just kind of go through those one by one, and I'll show you what they do. I'm going to pull up a patch of Massive here. Make it a little bit higher. Again, sorry for my lack of keyboard skills, but basically the idea, each of these commands on the left-hand side here speak to the performance control of the instrument, and they can be turned on and off independently. So tilt, the idea behind that is that as you move your finger up and down the key, changes the pitch. So the idea is that it's going to be very expressive to play, and no other keyboard that I know of, other than some really expensive ones, MIDI controllers and things like that, offer this kind of expressivity. Next up is press. So basically what this is like aftertouch. The more you press into the pad, the more it's going to move a certain kind of parameter. Now, in your software, you can map it to whatever parameter you want. So in this Massive patch, I've mapped it to, I believe, cutoff, and also, I think, oscillator position. But if you have software that's pretty flexible, you can do a lot with it. Next is sustain. You'll notice these two toggle on and off. sustain doesn't toggle. It's either on or it's off. Basically, if you hold it down, what it'll do for as long as you hold the sustain button down, whatever buttons that you, or whatever keys that you press will hold out. That's pretty cool, but I will say that more often what I use is this command here, toggle. You enact that. You don't have to keep your fingers there. As long as you have it there, any new keys that you press are going to sustain. The thing I like about it is when toggle is enacted, any notes you turn on and off will toggle on and off. Makes sense, right? If you tap it lightly once, it just clears out all the keys, but toggle is still enacted, so you can use it as a performance instrument in that way. Also, when you have keys set up, you can use the octave arrows at the bottom here to change what octave they're in. You also have a velocity switch here, so that's not really noticeable in this patch. Let me move to something different. Just index whether or not velocity is being counted. With it off, it's just all fixed velocity. With it on, however hard you strike the key determines the volume or the strength of the sound, as you would expect with the piano. And then down here at the bottom, we've got your kind of more standard keyboard or MIDI controller functions. You've got octave keys, which select which octave that you're in. And then on top of that, you have a bend sort of button, or it's not a wheel, it's kind of a toggle that you move back and forth with your thumbs so that it's kind of more extreme pitch bending than you would get out of the tilt function. Overall, I've had a lot of fun with this for $99, or if you could find it on sale, like $75, something like that. There's really nothing else out there that has this slim of a profile, feels this solid, has so many kind of cute little, extra things to it. Has the little tilt function so that you can make it really expressive. There's just nothing really like it, and I really appreciate Keith McMillen's company for creating something like this. Like I mentioned, I do throw it into my bag, and I keep it with me on the go next to my laptop. It takes up almost no space in the bag, and I can just pull it out whenever I want and plug it in. It's I think it's whatever program that you're using, it should work. I believe that it uses just general USB, so that really it will be recognized by anything. I had no problem pulling it up in Ableton and Ableton recognizing what I was doing or recognizing the instrument. As far as drawbacks, if you're someone who's really into playing keyboard, feeling the mechanical keys, this isn't for you. It really does feel significantly different than mechanical keys. In addition, it's only 25 keys, so some people have a problem with that. You can't really play long chords or anything on it if you're into that. It would have been nice if I could have held one note down here, moved up the keyboard and octaved up the keyboard and used my right hand to make higher notes, but by virtue of the fact that when you're toggled, the octave keys move the note that you have toggled on, it doesn't allow you to leave one note on and then move up the keyboard to play higher notes. I don't know, it'd be cool if we at least had that option. I will say the in terms of the lack of knobs or other really controllers that a MIDI keyboard would have. I mean, this is a keyboard, I think, that's sort of meant for largely being on the go. So you're not going to have a bunch of knobs sitting on top. It's just not the product that they were creating. They do try to, they try to give you expressivity both with the tilt function, with the press function. But, you will have to play around with the controller software that comes with the keyboard to control the sensitivity of the press or the tilt. You can change how many semitones or octaves things move. Another kind of drawback, I guess I would say, is these octave arrows here are cute, but honestly, I don't know how helpful they really are to tell you how far up or down the keyboard you are. I think the idea is when both are on, you're kind of dead center. When you go right to the once, it starts blinking. When you go right again, it starts blinking faster. When you go right again, it starts blinking fastest. Oh, this is beyond what you can hear. That sort of makes sense, but it's not as easy as your standard MIDI keyboard where it's, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. It's not as clear where on the keyboard you are just by glancing at it. Again, for what it is, it's got a really strong design. It's got a really unique kind of character to it, and I like it a lot. So in closing, I was going to show you, maybe as by means of inspiration, ways that I've used it in Ableton Live to control drum pads. You can control, I should say, control drum racks, control samplers, control synthesizers. So I've set this little set here. I'm going to show you just how I would jam on it on my laptop at work. Does make a little nice drum keyboard here. So that is the Keith McMillen K-Board. Again, nice little USB MIDI controller. I would recommend it if you're looking for something on the go. And if you have any questions or any comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer any questions you might have. Thanks again for watching.